610. From cocoon forth the butterfly, as lady from her door emerged a summer afternoon, repairing everywhere, without design that I could trace, except to stray abroad on miscellaneous enterprise, the clovers understood. Her pretty parasol be seen, contracting in a field, where men made hay, then struggling hard with an opposing cloud, where parties, phantom as herself, to nowhere seemed to go, in purposeless circumference, as 'twere a tropic show. And notwithstanding bee that worked, and flower that zealous blew, this audience of idleness disdained them from the sky, till sundown crept, a steady tide, and men that made the hay, and afternoon, and butterfly, extinguished in the sea. 611. Her sweet weight on my heart a night had scarcely deigned to lie, when stirring for belief's delight, my bride had slipped away. If 'twas a dream made solid, just the heaven to confirm, or if myself were dreamed of her, the power to presume. With him remain, who unto me gave even as to all, a fiction superseding faith by so much as 'twas real. 612. 'Tis opposites entice, deformed men ponder grace, bright fires the blanketless, the lost day's face. The blind esteemed it be enough estate to see, the captive strangles new for deeming beggars play. To lack enamour thee, though the divinity be only me. 613. The day that I was crowned was like the other days, until the coronation came, and then 'twas otherwise. As carbon in the coal, and carbon in the gem, are one, and yet the former were dull for diadem. I rose, and all was plain, but when the day declined, myself and it in majesty were equally adorned. The grace that I was chose, to me surpassed the crown, that was the witness for the grace, 'twas even that 'twas mine. 614. 'Twas warm at first like us, until there crept upon a chill like frost upon a glass, till all the scene be gone. The forehead copied stone, the fingers grew too cold to ache, and like a skater's brook, the busy eyes congealed. It straightened, that was all. It crowded cold to cold. It multiplied indifference, as pride were all it could. And even when with cords 'twas lowered like a weight, it made no signal, nor demurred, but dropped like adamant. 615. God is a distant, stately lover, woos as he states us by his Son. Verily a vicarious courtship, Miles and Priscilla were such an one. But lest the soul, like fair Priscilla, choose the envoy and spurn the groom, vouches with hyperbolic archness, Miles and John Alden are synonym. 616. If any sink, assure that this now standing failed like themselves, and conscious that it rose, grew by the fact and not the understanding how weakness passed or force arose. Tell that the worst is easy in a moment, dread but the whizzing before the ball. When the ball enters silence, dying annuls the power to kill. 617. The night was wide, and furnished scant, but with a single star, that often as a cloud it met, blew out itself for fear. The wind pursued the little bush, and drove away the leaves November left, then clambered up and fretted in the eaves. No squirrel went abroad, a dog's belated feet, like intermittent plush be heard, adown the empty street. To feel if blinds be fast, and closer to the fire, her little rocking chair to draw, and shiver for the poor. The housewife's gentle task, how pleasanter, said she, unto the sofa opposite, the sleet, than may know thee. 618. To love thee year by year may less appear than sacrifice and cease, however dear. Forever might be short, I thought to show, and so I pieced it with a flower now. 619. Did you ever stand in a cavern's mouth, widths out of the sun, and look, and shudder, and block your breath, and deem to be alone? In such a place, what horror, how goblin it would be, and fly as 'twere pursuing you? Then loneliness looks so. Did you ever look in a cannon's face, between whose yellow eye and yours the judgment intervened, the question of to die, extemporizing in your ear, as cool as satyrs' drums? If you remember, and we were saved, it's liker so, it seems. 620. Much madness is divinest sense to a discerning eye. Much sense the starkest madness. 'Tis the majority in this, as all prevail. Assent, and you are sane. Demur, you are straightway dangerous, and handled with a chain. 621. The wind tapped like a tired man, and like a host, come in, I boldly answered, entered then my residence within. A rapid, footless guest, to offer whom a chair were as impossible as hand a sofa to the air. No bone had he to bind him, his speech was like the push of numerous humming-birds at once, from a superior bush. His countenance a billow, his fingers as he passed, let go a music as of tunes blown tremulous in glass. He visited, still flitting, then like a timid man, again he tapped, 'twas flurriedly, and I became alone. 622. To interrupt his yellow plan, the sun does not allow caprices of the atmosphere, and even when the snow heaves balls of specks like vicious boy directly in his eye, does not so much as turn his head, busy with majesty. 'Tis his to stimulate the earth, and magnetize the sea, and bind astronomy in place, yet any passing by would deem ourselves the busier, as the minutest bee that rides amidst a thunder, a bomb to justify. 623. Prayer is the little implement through which men reach where presence is denied them, they fling their speech. By means of it in God's ear, if then he hear, this sums the apparatus comprised in prayer.